Hey guys, this is Dardamos with Dardamos Dominions. We're gonna get into turn 19 of FeatherFall. We've been starting to do some more magic site searching, and at this point, unless we get into another war, we're kind of ahead, and so we're gonna be doing a lot of magic site searching. I think the Broken Tower is either like an Astral Pearl or a Death Gem. We found a Smolder Stone, which is an Earth Gem and a Fire Gem. And the last thing that's happened during this was that we did a bump with Baratos. Now, I didn't talk to Baratos. I don't think we did exact borders yet, especially when it comes to Baratos and the water. I think we kind of did a first come, first serve. And I didn't, for some reason, I didn't think that I was going to end up bumping with him. Um, so we ended up bumping. And if you want to see, we're gonna see what his troops are right here. Obviously, he won because you saw the second battle. He's got these guys which are 14 protection, 16 defense. They're pretty solid. They're a pretty solid build. Now, I did kind of look at this turn before starting this episode up, so we're going to be seeing a little bit of a glitch here. But they bumped their defense all the way up to 19, which is pretty solid. And these guys, along with the TC, sorry, I play BattleTech, so TC is Torn Conquerdant to me, and it's getting me a little bit mixed up. Tianchi's troops are very similar in that they want a high defense, and it works out really well that the Bless is kind of a one size fits all for them. And so I think that the it works out really well. I think they chose their nations very well. They chose their nation matchup really well. And if you see, they just come in like just a small amount of guys just mows over. I mean, there's always that question of, am I gonna get an affliction or something like that with my troops? With Baratos, like, I mean, they took no losses whatsoever, so that was absolutely gorgeous. But the problem is then they're going to come up against my cohorts here, which these are very solid troops as well, and they deal 27 damage, and they also have a poison. And if you look at Baratos Bless, and let me get them so they actually bless themselves up. And if you see, this is the way you do it. You do a hold and attack. And if you see, this guy gets 2 layers of blessing off. So he blesses all of the troops. Whereas we saw before where Arcocephali was not holding and attacking, so it wasn't getting the bless off. This is the proper way to do it. You hold and then you attack. This right here, if you see, like, it's got like death, it's got but there's no astral here. There's no nature here. So it's not a true rainbow. It's only a partial rainbow. I think it does end up hitting 6 paths. In fact, I know it hits 6 paths. Because it's got it's got the four of air. It's got fire, air, water, defense is water, and I think it's like extensive water. And then earth is the strength, if I remember correctly. And then blood surge is blood, and combat speed, I don't know what combat speed is. I think it's also water, but I could be wrong. But they've got a decay weapon. So and I'll have to go over like a pretender, how to make your pretender's guide at some point. But if you put 3 points in, like, because you've got like earth, air, fire, water. If you put 3 points in each of those, it actually gives you 3 points of bless points. So you can kind of on the cheap get 3 points if you put 3 points into 4 different paths. And that's what the rainbow's trying to do. I kind of am curious if it would have been worth him, especially because they hit decay weapons, which death is kind of the one that I have a hard time sometimes getting a good 3-point death, but they went all the way to 4. This also does, I think that's blood 3, death 4, and I think that gets them into vampires if they want to later. So they do have an option to blood hunt with their pretender, and they have a option to make vampires. So that's kind of a late game strategy for them as well. I mean, nature is nice because they could have had the poison resist, but I don't know who would have done. There's no statistics in this game. So, but yeah, we can probably go over there more of that stuff later. Sorry, I'm playing other games. Band of Brothers, and that's the speed. That's the faster one. So if you can see, I'm getting my hotkeys mixed up. I'm sorry. It's also very late, so I'm kind of going between thoughts. We pop these guys almost immediately, and this looks like a really one-sided fight just because these guys' damage is so high. Their attack skill isn't crap, so we've got all these guys hitting. Like, even if it's a 25% chance of hitting, like one of them's gonna hit, and when they hit, they're gonna deal 27, or they're gonna get 27 added to their roll, and these guys only get 14 added to their roll. Now they do have a really, I mean, that's a nice. What that? Why are they Colossi? Where's it? Great Race of Mabawi? Okay, so I guess there's some sort of like superior humans, kind of like the Nephilium or something like that, but maybe like a lesser form than Nephilium. I don't know, but 22 hit points is a lot of HP for a humanoid looking chassis. But even then, it's not enough. Like, you're seeing like 20 and 14. We're beating their rolls by about 6 once, and then they just pop. But this is a problem back here. And if you see, 2 of these guys have made their way around to my commander. And let's see what happens back here. There goes my commander in one fell swoop. Now, it was exploding dice. They did 28 damage to him, and I'm pretty sure he had more than -3 protection. Probably. Like, this guy's got 13 protection. I can't see that dude having any less. So it was just a very, very lucky hit. And I think that it was still like 15 and 12. That looks about average. I still would have died anyways. But I lost this battle. However, that's not what originally happened. This is post patch, and so what actually happened in the actual game itself is that we won this. And not only that, the consort went through and manned up and killed 2 of them himself. So I don't know. It's one of those things where things can happen differently between replays and real life, and I honestly don't think that this was the patch that did this. I just think it was different rolls, and it kind of gives you an idea that, I mean, Dominions is a dice roll away from completely routing your forces. And we're going to see that this does have an effect on our borders. I don't know how much, though. Okay, so Arcocephali has decided that they're going to give a little bit, one last go at trying to get Niflheim off of their capital. However, this is a lost cause. At this point, Niflheim has had, 16 turns to make up Nifl Giants. He's got a road that leads right to Arcocephali. He's got Genjas along with some decent chaff in order to knock down those walls. And now what was inside the fort is now outside the fort, trying to knock them out. I think that you can fly troops into a fort, so I don't know why exactly he didn't do that, other than like, and then nothing against the player. At this point, you might as well give one last hurrah. There's nothing against you saying like, I want to go down swinging rather than waiting and like cowering in my fort. Not that there's nothing against those that like do last stands in forts too, but it's one of those things that I can respect this. However, you got to remember that the player that's done Arcocephali has been fairly predictable in that fairly lackluster in their scripting. They've been attacking closest, whereas most of the time you'd be seeing them attack rear. Now, you also remember that the Ulm player learned from his mistakes, or maybe from his predecessor's mistakes. And I think my partner is kind of expecting for this attack rear order and for these guys to come up and over. And if he does that, he's going to be running into a crap ton of Nifl Giants. So let's see what happens. Let's see specifically if he holds and attacks this time rather than just attacking. So here comes the blessing. They get blessed. And he has learned to hold an attack. That's awesome. That's great. And now all of his troops are getting blessed. So hats off to the player of Arcocephali. Screwing up is normal in Dominions. But being able to learn from your mistakes and look at your battles and say, what the heck did I do wrong? And seeing that some of his troops were not blessed, and then learning to actually hold an attack, that's great, and it will help him out a ton in his next game. This one's a little too late. As you can see, he did end up attacking. I think this might have been rear. I don't think it was closest because I would have hit these guys. But the way that these Neefle Giants ended up going is that they pushed forward, and I don't know if this was design. I would ask my partner, but he would say it's 100% design, and I don't know if he'd be telling the truth or not. Um, but he definitely had these Neefle Giants in the right place at the right time, and even though the Wind Riders came down right on the Genja, only like two of them had the ability of hitting him, and like 37 hit points, 14 protection, and a 14 point. He might get lucky, but his first strikes are done, and at this point, I can kind of tell that this one's gonna go south for the Wind Riders. Uh, you know, grats to the Arco player who, I mean, to me, he did a much better job than what his original partner did. And it just did. The rating was good. Looking back, if I were him, one suggestion for future games is to continue to raid. Just ignore the attack on Arco Sapali. You can't do anything about it. You're gonna lose anyways. You can't beat Niflheim head on. Instead, what you want to do is to attack the rear lines, make him pull troops back, and then when all of his troops are pulled back, then you can do your last stand, and hopefully there will be fewer troops on your capital, and you just try to pull him apart through raiding tactics. Also, you probably want to get into the war a little bit faster. Ulm was on his own for a while, and I don't know what exactly happened, and I'm hoping the Arco player is watching this, or can kind of give me insight as to why he didn't like jump in on the war initially. Albeit, I did talk to the because it's been about a week since I've done the last recordings, and I felt really bad because I feel like I ripped into Ulm into Arco, and it's nice to see Arco did change and did learn from their mistakes, but the original Ulm player, I felt really bad. And I talked to Hinam, and I was asking him, did you watch, did you know we were at war with Ulm? And at one point or another, I think he said I told him, but that he figured Ulm would take us apart. And in actuality, Ulm should have taken us apart. They are giant killers. They are the ones. I think that General Confusion did an Ulm match where he fought against. I can't remember. I think it might have been Hinam, or I mean, it was another giant nation, and I mean, he wrecked him because Ulm is giant killing humans. They are excellent at it, and so Hinam thought that they were gonna speed bump us, or possibly even beat us, and instead they just got hammered. And that's not what should have happened. And I think that the combo was really good. Whereas Ulm could have destroyed our armies and Arco could have raided us to death. And I think it was a bad matchup. I really do think it was a bad matchup. And looking back, I think that had the strategies been there from the beginning, especially with the sub came in and did a great, did much better than the original player. But yeah, it's still, I think it was too little, too late. And this is where you can see down here, Ulm is vanquished, and we're gonna see what happened with like another reason why it was kind of too little, too late. And the AI is in charge at this point. So we're gonna see his twice-horned or thrice-horned boar go into combat, and this is what a thrice-horned boar can do against Neefle Giants. When there are not many, which we didn't originally have many, they can trample them. And this trample does damage. Now, this was only 1 point of damage, though, because Neefle Giants are size 5, and this thrice-horned boar is size 6. So because the size is so similar, the trampling really isn't there. And so With an army alongside of him, I think he could have probably done some damage, although I don't really know how much. Um, at bare minimum, if you see, he's at least tanking a lot of damage. And I think with this guy alongside of his army, I think they would have done decently against the Evil Giants. But it's like I said, like they won or they lost the first couple of battles, and it was just at that point it was too little, too late. I don't know. Maybe he could have done better. Maybe he could have. Maybe there could have been a different strategy. But I don't know. Either way, we have vanquished Alm. We have won this war. We are now, in my opinion, firmly in the lead. And I have the we don't have a lot of scouts, but I feel pretty good about this. I did ask that all players when I announced this game that everybody be able to do 12 provinces in 12 turns, in order to join the game, just like practice your expansion. And I heard from some players that they just had bad expansions. I heard from others that, or I found out later that others had incredibly good expansions. And I'm not going to tell you guys who had the good expansions and who didn't have the good expansions. But let me just tell you right away that you can't tell from what we're seeing. Right now, what's happening in the rest of the world is kind of going to be a surprise to us. We do know that Tianchi looks like they kind of have done what they wanted. Like they've done a decent job. In it looks like Hinam's done well, and it looks like Mictlan did meh. But I can tell you at least one of those I'm wrong about. So let's go into the Mountains of Mist. So this is one of the provinces we were super worried about, because it is a crap ton of Bear Tribe. Now, I think I was getting Bear Tribe mixed up with Lion Tribe. Bear Tribe, if I remember correct, I thought they had, I don't know, they like single hatchet is not very scary whatsoever. So I don't know why I was so scared of these guys, because like slashing damage, it needs to get through your protection to deal extra damage. So it's not that scary. But let's see what happens. Maybe it was justified. We'll see. I actually remember this battle because I was so scared of these guys. But our demons are hitting them, and they're just plowing right through them. Some of these guys are getting hurt, but if you see, they're going into their second form. Now, the downside is they're picking up these afflictions and these, disease. I don't think disease does anything to him. But they're picking up these afflictions, and when I move these guys probably will die. However, they are also dealing 16 damage and 16 damage. And they're dealing 16 damage, and these guys can't take 16 damage. They just get evaporated. So we are dealing a lot of damage to them. That's a little too slow. I was hoping to slow it down a little bit. And not only that, but our little archers here are probably killing our own troops. This is their leader here, and I think that when we kill him, is that going to be it? Okay, they must have another leader somewhere, and they all look the same. But yeah, at this point, Fumitoki is now coming in, and he will cause the rout. I think, to be honest, instead of setting this guy on fire, I should have been more confident and set him to attack. We did lose a lot of troops on there, so I was justified in being afraid of the Bear Tribe. However, I think that if I would have had the Dione jump in a little quicker, that we would have been fine. Counting the kills, I don't see 77. Okay, so they killed 23 guys. We lost 21. So they actually had a little bit of friendly fire themselves, and possibly more if our archers killed somebody other than their guys, if they killed our own guys. So, Bear Tribe was a little scary, unexpected event. We've got a lab, bunch of pearls, and a bag of wind. Now, if you don't know what a bag of wind is, we're going to go over that in just a second. A bunch of Bakamona shows are joining our glorious cause, which is awesome. I like free troops. And then we get 15 free defense, which is great because 15 defense will bring down the unrest quicker. And so I can, especially because this is the province. I don't know if you can see it, but this is where my fort is. So we're a little bit safer on my fort province, which was also a big money maker. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that, keep it at 100% income the whole time. So we finally got a new palisade, and we finally get to meet Dagon. And Dagon will be our friend for quite a while. Oh yeah, we've also got a friend, a famous hero. This guy is now, because he killed those two guys in the real battle. He's now a famous battle, or famous battle. He's now a famous battle. He's now a famous hero. So let's talk about two things that have happened this turn. First off, I got an air random. And guys, this is huge for me. I went through 2 games as Alm. A total of probably 60 turns without getting an air random. Ever. Now, Alm has a pretty bad chance of getting air randoms. They're not really bad, but you should get them. Dionis have a better chance of it. And this is my air random. And this is my new favorite friend because air randoms are so strong. But you normally need to empower them to air 2. And the reason you need to empower them to air 2 is because that's what gives you Cloud Trapeze. It will let you do a magic phase attack against an enemy, which is super powerful. And we're going to go over this later, and he will get his Cloud Trapeze. I can promise you at least one Cloud Trapeze will be in this game, and it will be epic. Why is he at 2 already? It's because we got the Bag of Wind. And if you remember, our event gave us this. This gives us a +1 to all of our air magic. In order to make this item, you need an air magic level 5. Now, I wish I could, I've got a little notebook in front of me, and it's my, it's my Dominions notebook. And in this notebook, I write down all the air boosters and all the common ways of getting conjuration or like conjuring a mage, that like the level. So if I could get like an air 3 mage, what would I need to get an air 3 mage? And if I remember correctly, I don't even know if it's possible to go straight air where you get like an air 4 mage, you make an air 4 booster that brings you to air 5, and then you can make this. I don't think you can even do that. I'm guessing the Queen of Elemental Air may be, but you need like air magic to get to the Queen of Elemental Air. Air is a very hard path to break into. Very, very hard path. And getting to air 5 is incredibly difficult. And this is a 40 gem item. It's just like here's 40 gems. And here's something that only an air 5 magic, mage can make. This is a huge boon, and we're going to be using the heck out of this. And the best part about this one in comparison to the robe, which we haven't used yet, is that this one, I'm not going to get tainted. I'm not going to get horrors popping up and killing me. So this is something that what I'm going to do is, if you see, I'm moving down here to go, and I'm going to start scouting out all of these different provinces in order to start site searching. In site searching, something from going from 1 to 2 in a path is huge. It is it gives you like 25 to 30% more magic sites. And what's more important is that normally you site search with like air 1, and then I'd have to go through, and like when I got my Tai Tengus, I'd have to go through and site search with air 2, which would be a pain in the neck. So at this point, I don't have to research with my Daitengus. It saves me a mage turn almost. Actually, not almost. Like, it saves me a mage turn. So let's talk about, let me make sure I do my order of, right, we did events, we did battles, Diplo. Okay, so let's talk about what's going to happen with this. Baratos was understandably upset about this. I had no clue where where anything of Baratos was. And if you see, like, oh no, that's Vanheim. I take it back. That's Vanheim. That's Baratos. Okay, so like, I don't know if they have claim to this, but considering that he's got a fort here, I went and I looked at the income here, and even though it's a farm province, it's only giving me 24 gold. And so what I told Tianchi is I said, hey, let me keep this one, Bayville. And for Bayville, I will trade you Ministra. I said you can pick one, but let's do that. And he said, okay, you've already got Bayville, and we don't want to take it from you, and I don't have my army in the area anymore. So why don't you take Bayville, and then we'll take Ministra? And that sounded right to me. Um, I'm now taking back these provinces that he took over, and that's right now. Tianchi and us seem to have a very very steady border, and it's kind of weird. Like these games, you normally end up where you meet guys and you're just like, I think we're gonna have like they seem really trustworthy. They seem like good guys. They seem like you're gonna end up with a border for a long time, and like it's kind of nice to have your back to somebody like that, and it's good to be someone like that because you'll don't get me wrong, you're gonna get backstabbed every once in a while. You're gonna find out some guys are not worth trusting, but it's not. I this guy seemed like he was really trustworthy, especially once he started once he gave me back these provinces. I knew that he was 100% good on his word, and if he would have ended up, breaking Nap, it would have been something very honorable. He would have made sure I had enough time, and it's one of those that I think a couple of guys I've done before. I got a hold of him. I said, hey, I'm ending the nap 3, and there's some debate as to nap 3, whether, what turn it ends. I said, I don't care which one you want. So here are the 2 turns that are commonly debated. You tell me which one you want to go to war on, and we'll do that one. And normally they're pretty cool about it. They just like, sometimes I've had people that have said, you can pick, and I go over my logic. I look at it as a nap 1 is me warning you now that I'm attacking next turn. A nap 0 would be no warning. So I'm attacking you this turn and I'm not giving you any warning. So if a nap 1 is this turn, the next then you just count the turns from there. And that's how I normally do it. And I know that there's other people that do it other ways, and I like when I break a nap 3, especially with guys like this. I normally make sure that everything's cool and there's no surprises. So we're gonna talk to at this point we've made a couple deals on borders. We've done a couple nice friendly trades, and because of the trades have been friendly and nice, we've decided. I have a good feeling that we're gonna stay at peace for quite a while. On the other fronts, I'm still worried that Mictlan's about to get eaten, and I'm not gonna lie. Like Mictlan getting eaten would be good from the perspective of, hey, Mictlan's gone, or they're eating Mictlan. I don't care if Mictlan's here or not. That they're attacking Mictlan instead of us. But he is also coming into our waters, and I'm kind of a little bit upset about this because these are kind of our waters. But if you see, like, this water and this water isn't connected, but it is 2 away from Niflheim's cap. But there's not a lot I can do about it. Like, I can't get angry, but I can be like, I want that province or anything like that. I did give him this one. He's taken both of these. Hinam has taken their team. I believe he's going to take this one. And that's kind of why I'm coming in here with all of my forces. Instead of just coming out and attacking this province this turn, and moving over here and taking this one. And not only that, but I don't know if you're in the province and attack, I don't know how that goes. I don't know if that counts as a magic phase attack, or if it counts as a attack before he moves friendly to friendly. I do know if he moves friendly to friendly and I move enemy to friendly. Let me give you an example of that. So if he moves, the blue lines are friendly to friendly. If he moves there, those happen first. Any play that I would go from here to here would go second, but if I moved back, that would go first. So it processes all the blue moves first, and then after all the blue moves have processed, the yellow moves process. The thing is, I don't know how it processes if you're already there. And I don't even know if that's in the book. It's one of those weird exceptions that I don't know if it's actually identified or it's actually addressed. So I'm not gonna risk it. Oh, sorry guys, a little bit past my bedtime here. So I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna send both of these guys off here. I do know that it won't break my stealth until I'm here. So both and the reason I'm doing this in addition, I probably could look it up. I could have asked somebody in one of the questions chats. One of the reasons why I did that is that I want to try to come here and force into Moss Woods. So I'm gonna move here, and then afterwards I'm gonna move to Moss Woods and hopefully bump him. What I'm hoping is that he goes from Silent Hills into here, the Infinite Sea, and then he tries to go up here to either Whirling Sea or Moss Woods, and I'll actually have control of that by then. So I'm kind of conceding all this water here, these 4 provinces, but what can you do? I mean, like, I didn't expand down here fast enough. I got hammered at this stupid throne. Just having this throne here in general was kind of it kind of sucked, but you know, it is what it is. Now the advantage of this, and this is one thing I haven't addressed yet. This is the throne that we claimed, and when you see this throne and you know Yomi, this is the best possible throne that I could have gotten. Number one, you normally take Drain, just because you have to. All of Yomi's blesses, I mean, unless you want to go with some sort of rainbow bless, it's going to require you to take Drain. In addition, getting magic resist is huge. If you look at these little Oni right, not those guys, the little ones. Where are the little guys? Little guys, where are you? Here they are. Okay. Magic Resist 13 isn't too bad. But you know what's better than Magic Resist 13? You guessed it. Magic Resist 14. Actually, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Blessed Troops. Okay, now take it back. Ignore that. Ignore that. Don't look at the guy behind the curtain. The Dione. These Dione and every single one of our Sacred Troops, which are our precious guys, are going to get their Magic Resist increased by even 1 more. So at this point, our magic resist is going to go from +3 to +4. So sorry, the Dione is going to be up to 22 magic resist, and that's not even counting the fact that he can cast Iron Will on himself and increase it even more, and then be pretty much unkillable from sources of MR, like MR checks, like Soulslay. Sorry, I'm getting in the habit of pushing N. Sorry, we're moving Akatashi down here to the World Steel Mountains for 2 reasons. First off, I want to site search. Second of all, I was promised this space. I'm hoping I can get it and have him give it over to me in this time. However, I do have Drago over in the area, and he can take these provinces as well. We're moving this priest down here for probably to come down here and put temples down here. Also possibly to put temples down here. I would like temples down here. I definitely need a temple in the curtain wall so I can get the really good Dione. Or no, I'm sorry, the really good demon spawn. Also, High Peaks really needs one as well. This guy, if you see, has been collecting blood virgins. He gets 1 per turn, and they've been collecting very slowly. We finally did get a lab. If you want to know, by the way, a good thing if you click on him and then push Shift Z, it throws all of his blood slaves into the laboratory automatically. And if you push Shift V, it will give all, like if I had like 20 guys and they all had 1 blood slave, all 20 would go to this dude, and then I could push Shift Z and they would just deposit them all. So that's super nice. Okay, our borders are done. We do have like some that are like here that we're gonna have to fight over. That one's Lanka's, but like these 2 we're gonna have to fight with Lanka over. We do have still this throne, but other than that, we got some down here that are probably gonna be, but it's all scraps. Except for this one right here. This is these 3 are pretty much ours. And I gotta claim this. So there are some scraps, but for our sake, the early game has come to a close. And what's interesting is the early game has come to a close just as we have beaten Ulm and Arcocephali. Now, Arcocephali still has the Rustic Badlands, but at this point, he's thrown everything out of this fort into Arcocephali. There's nothing in here. All it's going to take is for us to sit on top of it, wait a couple turns, and then kill it. it's just this guy's coming down here this turn. Pan has not entered the war. They did not munch or crunch any of these border provinces. I think that my partner may had something to do with that. I think he was. I don't think he was like he the way he does diplomacy is pretty successful. And I don't understand it because to me he normally asks for a whole lot, but he asks for it in a nice way. Whereas I don't ask for a lot, but I don't ask for it in a nice way. I try to kind of puff myself up, kind of like a rooster does, and I think that kind of intimidates people sometimes. And because of that, even though I'm giving them a good deal, they see me puffing up and they think that I must be trying to screw them over, which I try not to. I try for fairness. Like I say, like if I help out every single one of my neighbors except for one, that one guy is gonna get totally screwed over. Man, we've gone really long, 35 minutes. And this was I actually redid this one. Trying to remember. Oh, I did same thing that happened with Battle Brothers, my Battle Brothers campaign. I have to go from my left to right monitor, and so I did the wrong resolution, and so I had to redo this one. And I thought I'd be faster, but I'm not. So let's go over with these guys. So I'm gonna move back here. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, I did it. So this guy's got his cool looking sword. He's gonna move down here and no, he's not gonna sight search. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what he's going. Oh, I guess he's just generally going south. I could use a lab here, and I think looking back, like what I should have done is look for something else that I gotta be. Oh, I'm building a lab here for so. Oh, I'm building a lab to get those damn Minari. I think to be in all honesty, I probably should have done. I don't know. Yeah, I do need a lab here too. But this is a Dione turn. In all honesty, what I should have done was just like have him piddle around site searching or maybe like pillaging, I guess. Nah, not pillaging. But and then have this guy actually construct a lab here. So that way I could have started making these Daminari and just getting rolling on more research here. But instead, I decided to research here, and the reason why I should have done that was because this is this is an Onishugo. He doesn't really need to be going around doing anything. If you see, this guy can site search Death 2 and Fire 1. This guy can site search everything else. And also Earth. So if I want to search Earth, I'm going to be searching everywhere this guy is searching anyways. So it's a waste of my time to site search with these guys. I mean, I could have him back in fort researching 8 per turn, but ultimately just keeping him here and patrolling, and then next turn coming in with a next turn coming in with a with a lab would have been a better idea. We are making another Dione, so we're doing good on that regards. Let me look through real quick and see what my guys are doing. Moving, searching, building a lab, sneak and attack, forging owl quills. Okay, so we are starting to work on our owl quills. We have hit construction 2 a while ago. So this guy is just pumping out owl quills. Now, one last thing, we talked about Dagon. Now, Dagon is going to be super important to us because we don't have any astral access right now. So I do have the option of going around and starting to search for him, but there's a big problem that I have right now, and that's my research. If you see, I'm only making 88 research per turn. And the vast majority is coming from my Earth Snake. And the reason I say vast majority, even though it's only 50% plus 1, is because this guy's doing 15 research. And I think I bought him for like 40 gold. So for like 40 to 50 gold, I'm getting 15 research, which is huge for Yomi. I need to get my infrastructure in place before my research really starts to take off. I need to get my construction up before my research really takes off. And I'm sitting on a ton of research gems. If you look, fire is lightless lanterns, which is a ton of research. Air is owl quills, and death is the skull mentors. And in fact, we might even want to think about possibly doing. Can we do infamiliars? Infamiliars will give us another 3 research. And while it's not a whole lot, after 7 turns, it kind of makes up for that 1 turn of lost research. So we're trying really hard to get to Conjuration 5, and I'll be honest, I don't know why. I really want these Daitengu. I really want these Daitengu. To be fair, Conjuration 4 would give us Shikomi, and Shikomi, I've got a ton of death gems. Shikomi right now would be wonderful. I mean, I could cast 16 per turn from my capital with these two guys. Over here, this guy could just be pumping out Shikomi, and all he's doing right now is researching for 7 research a turn. So not that great of a thing. Um, but yeah, this guy's doing. Oh, so I was told that I could have Turtle Glaives, and so this guy's heading over to Turtle Glaives to take that after he's done building me a fort. Just a reminder, I can only build these level 1 crappy forts. I'm also going to start making. This is actually a mistake. I should not be making these Naminari. I should be making these Oni Shugo because these guys are Oni summoners. They're giving me chaff per turn. So even though these guys cost like 130 more, I should probably be doing that. The thing is, I'm kind of low on money right now, and like I would really have liked to have made those 2 labs. And I really believe that when it comes to Yomi, I think research is better than the chaff initially. Later on, you can boost research. You can get into your higher level constructions and make yourself some good items that. I mean, if you have a Dione that can take out armies and is undefeatable, then who cares about your chaff? Not that chaff isn't awesome, but I'd rather have construction 4 or conjuration 5 or construction 6 or alteration 4. Like right now, my research is trash. If somebody attacks me, I mean, I think I can hold my own. I do have pretty good gear, and we will be getting into gearing pretty soon. It is turn 19, and I think by the end of this year, I will be starting to do some serious gearing. And not only that, but I think it's time that we move on. That we're going to be moving into construction soon too. So, we're gonna go pick up these guys again and start getting our army kind of congregated. We have peace here. We have peace with Fomoria. We have peace with Tianchi. We have peace with Migdalin. We are picking up the pieces of Arcosafali and Ulm, and we have peace with Vanheim and Pan. And by the way, sadly, Abyssia didn't try to foray last time, so I'm kind of a little bit upset with that because I would have liked to have gone from here to Abyssia and then taken over Abyssia. It would have been a humongous coup. So what I'm doing instead, wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, I got the shipwreckers for another turn. So yeah. So I'm gonna move down here. I'm gonna come up to the glistening woods, and hopefully, I can still hit Abyssia from here. I can still hit Abyssia from here. So I'm gonna come down here, hit glistening woods, and then hopefully at one of those points, Abyssia will foray and kill this guy. Because I don't want to declare war on Vanheim over going to Abyssia, but if they lose their spot here, I'm gonna contest it. And if they want to make a big deal of it, they're gonna have to drop their nap 3 or just look bad for drop or for attacking us prematurely. So I guess that's it for the turn. Gems real quick. We are up to 15, 21, 23 gems, and it's turn 19. We are starting to just to see our gem graph. Our gems are starting to take off. Where was the Smolder Stone, by the way? I do want to look at that one. Smolder Stone, yeah, here. Oh, I guess it is only 1 fire. Huh, that kind of stinks. Well, but our gem income is starting to take off, and that's that's it. So we get 2 death gems per turn from Broken Tower. So that's like two Shikomi a turn, which is just absolutely amazing. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna start up asking if possible, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps out me. It helps out my motivation to make more videos. It helps get my channel a little bit more publicity. and hopefully that will get me motivated to make more videos. I've got a couple other series that I have all the turn files, and I might go back and do some back filing if I get really motivated, especially if there's a lot of people that like these videos. I may try some series that I have down pat, and some of the series that I'm currently in. So hopefully see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.